Here are 5 things to relieve tension in your left arm. First 3 focus on the tension itself, and the last 2 try to deal with the underlying cause of the tension. In other words, don't just treat the symptoms, treat the disease as well. And don't be too upset. Cellists overuse their forearms all the time in both arms, and it's the reason we end up with what some call, and I'm going to date myself here, the Popeye arms, where the forearm is bigger than the bicep. If you don't know what Popeye looks like, look him up. The first thing you should do to help the tension in your left arm, be it your forearm or anywhere else, is to make yourself aware of the difference between the tensed up and relaxed states of your arm. Make sure you are very aware of the difference. There is no way to show you this, I can only describe it. Don't be overly aggressive with this exercise and cause further injury, but away from the cello, with your arm in the air, simply flex your forearm and release it. If you need to, put your hand on the cello and play something. It's that overflexing, stiffening sensation, the tightening of the forearm, that you want to be aware of. You may also want to close your eyes while you do this a few times to really be aware of it. Got it? Now, the number 2 thing you need to do is to focus on that area while playing. You have to realize, and this is very important, there is no secret remedy, no special advanced pedagogy to relieve tension. You just have to focus on it. It's so easy to get caught up in this spiral where we think there's something out there that the pros know that will solve our problems. It simply isn't the case. My favorite example of this comes from Tiger Woods' coffee table book, where he dedicated 2 huge pages to this one small story that his teacher, Butch Harmon, made him focus on one muscle and its movement for 30 minutes straight. He thought he was going to collapse before it was all over. We don't have to go to that extreme, but it gives us some insight and ideas about working on a muscle group. Figure out what the goal is, the relaxed state, and then spend some time, really focused time, playing in that relaxed state. The biggest mistake that beginners and students make is not realizing how little time they have actually spent. So, use a timer. Set the timer on 3 to 5 minutes at a time, maybe, and maybe even just 2 minutes might do it, then increase it as you are able. Focus on nothing else except your forearm. Focus on nothing else except relaxing while you play. You will quickly realize that you have not been spending that much time focused on it, and you will realize just how long 2 to 5 minutes is. The timer keeps us in check from wandering off to some other place or something else in our practice session. Before we get into number 3, if you're liking this video and getting something out of it, hit that like button and consider subscribing for more videos just like this one. Now, let's get into some more detail with the number 3 thing that will relieve the tension, and that is practicing proactively, focusing on playing in that relaxed state. I'm going to use Humoresque by Dvorak as an example. The shift that comes in the middle of the piece from middle C there in 2nd position to the G in 5th position. Playing in 5th position is difficult because it creates a lot of tension in the hand, especially when we are playing all whole steps in a violin type finger pattern as we are in this example. Just like with step 1, I'm going to make myself aware of what it is like to be in that 5th position in a relaxed way by repeating it and focusing on relaxing my forearm while I am playing there. I'm making sure to relax my shoulder, I'm focusing on my forearm, I'm focusing on relaxing my fingers. Maybe even close my eyes. And what I'm memorizing is what it feels like to be relaxed. What does my arm feel like to be relaxed? For my fingers and my hand to be relaxed while I'm playing here. This is where I'm going to. This is my goal. Next, I'm going to make sure I have a good, relaxed starting position on the C that I am shifting from. The goal is to have my forearm be relaxed all the way through the execution of this shift. This is where the proactive piece comes in. I have to be proactively focused on relaxing my shoulder, arm, and hand before I start the shift, all the way through the shift, and of course, as I land and execute the shift. I'm going to follow the bowing here in Humoresque. I'm relaxing my shoulder. I'm thinking about relaxing my hand into the fingerboard. I'm focused on this forearm. And as I shift, Anytime I move on the cello, anything I do on the cello, I have to contract muscles, right? There's a certain amount of tension that is required for playing the instrument. When we're talking about tension, in quotes, tension, we're talking about the overuse of some muscles, where we raise our shoulders, we tense things up, and so I have to be focused on relaxing them while I'm playing, while I'm starting, I'm relaxed, and then landing in that relaxed state in fifth position that I practiced earlier, making sure I get there. So. Now, is that a little bit too much sliding? Probably. But remember, for this 2 to 5 minutes or whatever you set the timer on, I'm focused on this forearm, relaxing the forearm. I'll get to the sliding, I'll get to the intonation later, and this is where we make the mistake, especially beginners and students, like, oh, it's out of tune, let me practice the intonation. Or, oh, the rhythm's bad, let me practice the rhythm. If you say that you're going to fix the tension in your forearm, that's what you're working on for that time. And remember, the biggest, most important aspect to this step is, am I landing in a relaxed way? By the way, this is important for playing accurately, not just relieving tension. This landing relaxed. That's it. It's that easy and that difficult. Find the goal, find the relaxed state you want to be in, and then proactively recreate it and stay in it as you are playing. Okay, these last 2 steps try and treat the underlying causes. And just to note that these come from my own experience and what has created tension in my own playing. Number 4, in a word, reaction. We react to the sound with tension. This is caused by anxiety or nervousness about the notes themselves. When we are unsure of what we are doing, if we are afraid we are playing something wrong, we tense up. When we don't like the sound, we tense up. This is a habit, and like all habits, as we have discussed, you have to do something different until the habit is broken. There is no trick. Decide what you want from the sound. Decide what your goal is at the beginning of your practice session. The more proactive you are, then the less reactive you will be. Instead of saying something is out of tune, say specifically if it is sharp or flat, and then fix it. Instead of saying, oh, my bow messed up, say specifically what went wrong. Were you in the wrong part of the bow? Did you have the wrong arm weight? Do you need to change your contact point? Also, if you never say specifically in this proactive way what you don't like, how will you ever say specifically what you do like? And this is really important. When we like something, really like something, it relaxes us because it makes us happy. The more decisive we are about what you like and don't like, the more specific you are, the more you're going to find the things you like, and the more relaxed you're going to be while playing. Lastly, number 5, exercise. Tension can be caused by a lot of things, but it is most often caused by range of motion issues and compensating with the same muscle groups over and over again. And these go hand in hand. We don't have the range of motion we need, so we need to overuse certain muscles that may be weaker, and so we overcompensate with the muscles that are able to do the job easily right then and there. With the forearm, it comes from not relaxing our shoulders, which may come from weak biceps and weak chest muscles, and all of it relates to how strong our large back muscles are. Depending on your age, young or old, exercise looks different for everyone, especially weight training, so be sure and consult your doctor and a personal trainer before beginning an exercise regimen. I hope this has been helpful, and if it was, consider subscribing and getting notified so you will know when I put out more videos just like this one. Also, I went over the first big shift in hemorrhast talking about tension. If you want to see the full video on how to practice shifting, where I use the next shift in hemorrhast as the example, the really big one up to the high C, then watch this video right here.